Hey Jeff, so in this video I want to cover a little bit of the progression that makes work the soloing with the chords simultaneously landing at the right time with the right chord. So the first three chords are going to be A, D, and E. And the first one, A, I'm going to have it as an A7, A dominant chord. And briefly in terms of the theory here, if you want to take the time to maybe try to understand it, it's a formula. A formula is going to be the components that I need in order to build the chord. In this case, I'm going to have a root note being the A note, a fifth note, which is the note that follows here, is an E note. Then you have another root note, another A, and then this note makes a major. This is the third. This is the makes it sound happier, and this is a C sharp note. And then we have a flat 7. Now, I don't want to confuse you with all the terminology, but all you need to understand is that we call the chords for a reason. We have this A dominant 7th chord, meaning we have a major chord but with the minor component, a flat, a minor 7th, and that's a G note right here. So we can dive more into that in person, but these are the same components that I will use for the other positions. So this is A7. We can also play A7 this way, where I have just like an A major shape that you already know, but without the G string being pushed. The next A7 I'm going to play is this one. Middle finger on the 5th note, on the 5th fret, and then the index finger playing what I call the 3rd, then the flat 7. So these two fingers are on the very same fret, 5. And then the small finger is playing the same note that I'm playing up here, the 3rd. This is the 6th fret on the G. The last two notes have been muted with the index finger. So the more you can play this flatted, it'll be a little bit more effective. And then one more shape for that. I'll maintain this very same root note as a reference on the 5th fret, and it will be this position, which we have a bar, and then the ring finger is playing the 5th note on the 7th fret on the A string, and the middle finger on the 3rd string on the 6th fret. Few things we can do with this chord really quickly. It's follow the scale pattern, pentatonic major. So if I have the pentatonic here, you can take that position and play around with the note. You can open that. G note here as a pedal, and then land on the A, that kind of thing. The next chord is D. This D7th chord we're going to play. We're playing from the D string, and then this is a shape that you already know and you have on the chord chart. The next D7 is going to look like this. This is the 5th fret, so it makes it easier once you're in the progression because you use the same fret root note for the root note reference. So this D note looks like this, like your C major shape, if you will, but with the pinky on the G string on the same 5th fret where the root note is. The other strings outside E's, they're muted. You don't play with the right hand, and you can always flat this finger a bit more, so that way the note's completely gone. That's my D. And the next one is a D6 we're going to play. Now this 6. The D6 looks like this. You have the same root note. Now we're using, instead of finger 3 as a root, we use finger 2, finger 1, finger 3, and then we can use the pinky down here. Another way to play that very same shape is just to use one finger, finger 3, to flat that. You can even go further and play even the 1st string. Sounds more jazzy, more gypsy jazz, if you will, like that. The last chord we're going to have is going to be the E. For E, we have just like an E major chord, but we release this finger. We can always add also the pinky on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. That's our E7. this E7 that looks just like the D7 that we played previous, but we have also on the 7th fret. We also can play this major minor chord to resolve the entire progression, but this is E. E on the 7th fret, just like this. E, the major third, the minor 7, and the minor third. That kind of thing. So here's an example of putting all this together, and I'm going to have a couple of ideas. So the first idea is going to be something like this. We're going to play the A. I'm going to stick with this shape first, and then I'm going to move into this shape, and back and forth. Finally, resolve it to E. So the first thing I'm going to play is focus on just the top part of my pentatonic scale using this note. And I'm also going to use the blues note here and there. And I'll be as rhythmic as I can, and also try to pluck as soft as you can, and so that way the accents will prevail, so you'll understand where the accent is, and there's a natural groove that will come to flourish, in other words. So we have something like this. I'm going to start pretty slow. 1, 2, 3, and that's the kind of idea we're going to start working with. So if you can start playing just from the bottom part of the strings, stick with just the bottom strings. Just play around there. If the top part, just the top part. But the idea is that you can play this with the metronome maybe, or the backing track, and definitely it's helpful if you start playing this and you can maybe record yourself over the phone and just delete the files and just start checking on how you're doing every single time you try it over and over. That's the idea. You're going to play a chord and then you're going to play the lead on top of it. Just something rhythmically related and balanced with the chords that you're playing, but you want to respect the chords just like I play on the very first time. So you want to go over the chords, the chord progression, very smooth as possible. All I was playing a downstroke, down, up, kind of like ghost note strikes, you know, like this. So this is the solid part that I need to have, the chords landing as solid as possible, so that way my strumming can be light and then this can come out. And also that will call for what to play with my other notes. So if you have any question regarding this, any tips that you might want, and no matter what the question is, even if you think like it's a silly comment, just don't hesitate, please call me, so that way when we see each other next time you have a little bit more of a clear understanding what are the weak points still and what are the strengths. Okay? Talk to you soon, man.